era of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal.
Hello, everyone. It is on this very late night that we cap off the final game of week number 3. My name is Shiv. With me is Prone, and we're going to be getting into Hank Whittleberg versus the Soy Kittle Predator Slayers.
Yeah, these are two pretty exciting teams. I'm pretty familiar with the side of Soy Kittle Predator Slayers, and I believe draft has started, so we can dive straight into that.
It will be Hank Whittleberg on the blue, Soy Kittle on the red for game number 1.
Yeah, and the thing that most teams know to do against this team, ban Nico and ban Akali, Luke Killers and Kiddo Kit Kiddo Kit back in this week, having a sub last week, but they still picked up a win. But her strongest champ definitely is Nico, and Luke Killers is a pretty well-known Akali player, so two huge respect bans. On the other side, Ambessa and Gwen taken away from L9 Soraka, no surprise there either.
Yeah, each side definitely has their fair share of counter picks. Both of these teams yet to drop a game, 2-0s for both of them in the first 2 weeks, looking to keep that going.
The final ban being Jinx coming out. I guess they saw the Soy Blake Jinx in the match before yesterday, or I just remember seeing Soy Blake having a good game on Jinx. So respect ban there too.
Yeah, he did sub in yesterday and kind of popped off in relief on. All the names are so weird, they blend together. But he did sub in yesterday, had a great Jinx game. He's played it twice thus far for his main team. Either way, it is going to be Varus locked in first for the side of Whittleberg.
Yep, no surprise there. Varys, a huge winner of this recent patch, on top of the AP build that has come out with Dawn and Dusk being turbo abused. This champ is just like winning hard on the Rift right now. Super big priority, so no surprise for B1.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the side of the Predator Slayers, you pointed out the Akali or the side of Blue Killers. His Syndra has been another pick that he's opted into frequently, both in this tournament and in past ones. He's had very strong performances that feels like his go-to mage when he is not able to pick up the Akali. And Misfortune also coming down for the side of the Predator Slayers.
Yeah, Misfortune, very solid as well. Uh, does decently into most of the various variations. Um, so it should be pretty fine as long as she takes cleanse. Should have pretty decent impact in team fights. Shouldn't have to worry too much about the poke if she can get Bloodthirster. Karma being locked in to round out the poke lane, and also maybe Aurora.
Now, looking across the board, the side of Hank Waterberg hasn't really played these aggressive 2v2 double range lanes all too much. They've been playing Braum, they've been playing Alistar, they've been playing Thresh. So, gonna be maybe a different tempo for them to just go with this kind of more aggressive style with the Varus and the Karma. Jarvan, though, gonna be our final pick as that may allow the Predator Slayers to weasel out some strong junglers as bit uneven in roles for the first 3.
Yeah, Jarvan, also one of the stronger blind pick jungles on this patch as well. And no jungle being picked on the side of Hank Whittleberg means that they can now pinch it. So hard to match the strength of Jarvan. And also, we saw last week hide on Bush's lethality J4 doing miracles out there. So no surprise it's being locked in.
Yeah, and we do see Jace taken off the board, one of those very strong junglers. However, Microsoft Store has been pretty flexible. He's been someone that's been very willing to take a lot of AP farmers and be more of a farming jungler and then scales up, one shot some guys later. He's played some Gragas, he's played the Evelynn. Not sure if that's exactly what he wants to do when teamed up with a burst mage in Aurora, but those options are there. They also ban away Camille. Meanwhile, Hank Whittleberg banning away some powerful support options that could maybe buoy them through the Karma lane with the Milio and the Sona bans.
Yeah, the Sona ban I like. Sona Misfortune is pretty decent. Offers pretty strong scaling. And their level 6 combo is technically the same as Kiddo Kit Kat will lock in Leona. Um, Engage is not one of her strong suits, but playing for the team and a Leona Aurel is definitely what this team wanted.
Yeah, but then we get Malphite Zehen pretty quickly for Whittleberg. And at face value, the Malphite jungle definitely seems like a very nice option. You're up against a burst mage. You're up against an AD that isn't exactly known for her tank killing abilities. So Malphite can definitely get a ton of value alring on top of people's heads. But the Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers also just kind of want to R on top of people's heads. They lock in the Ornn, Leona, Jarvan. They're going to send in so much engage to then set up a powerful bullet time.
Yeah, we saw the Orange as a hand matchup a couple times now for coincidentally L9 Soraka playing this matchup. I think probably like twice now. Um, so it's definitely a good weak side champ, and it fits the team comp well. But my main concern for this draft is that uh, the Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers I feel like have three losing or like three not like easily winning lanes. Um, so although yes, their team fight looks very strong, they have a very strong wombo and it's very relatively easy to execute. It has to take a little bit to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to be maybe playing for those more explosive fights. Misfortune sometimes can be, a neutralizer in lanes because she has her own poke with the E, with the quick love tap trades, but definitely going to be a rough time for Leona when she's against double ranged. I mean, the Predator Slayers did play a very similar composition to this against the 9 to 5 Grustlers with the Misfortune and the Leona. But that was into like Kaisa Braum. Definitely a lane without the early game hands that the Varus and Karma can bring for Soy Blake on the side of Hank Whittleberg.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this will be lethality Varus. Like in theory, this could also actually be AP Varus. It could also be on hit. Personally, I feel that lethality will probably be best, but we never know. So the on hit build though does have some durability. If she takes cleanse, if he goes Merc Treads, we'll be able to actually maybe like live through one rotation of Syndra, even if he gets hit, and as long as he can dodge out on the rest of the bullet time, we'll have a lot of uptime and value. Um, so on hit could definitely work here too. Um, but yeah, overall, I do. It's relatively even for me. Like both sides have their game plan. Both sides have their strengths and weaknesses. So it'll really just come down to how the execution goes out in game.
Yeah, I mean, I will say when we've seen Malphite in the jungle, they definitely have been just, farming up to level 6. They can't really affect the game too much with just the 3 basic abilities. Jarvan, meanwhile, definitely can. So we'll see if, that's going to be a way that Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers get through some of these rougher lanes. If there's anything spicy that the Jarvan tries to do during those first like 1 to 5 levels.
Yeah, I have a huge amount of respect for Doug Hide on Bush. Um, this guy went pretty insane in the early game last series that I commented or commentated. Specifically the J4 was pretty insane to watch. So I feel like him having such a high agency early to mid game champion is exactly what they need for this kind of comp to function. With three lanes that are very strong team fighters, but not like great in lane, they can be stable. So as long as Doug can get around the map and get his laners where they need to be and what they need to scale in the game, then they will be good.
Yeah, I mean, with Ornn topside as well, it opens up like you don't need to be a front line on the Jarvan. Might see the lethality Jarvan make an appearance again, and then he just tries to blow up the Varus off the face of the earth without even needing necessarily maybe the help from the bullet time and the Call of the Forge God. Definitely got our eyes on Hide on Bush for game number 1.
Yeah, actually,
I don't believe we would have spectator. I don't know if they said spectator delay or not. We will find out in 30 seconds whether or not we need to take a break. But does feel like we're looking at an early game that Hank Whittleberg can definitely dictate with their winning lanes. But then as things get later and later, the initiation, the engage, the ability to pick their fights is going to be what the Predator Slayers need to do to get themselves over the finish line and come back in that mid to late game.
yeah, I will say the one wild card here is Hikari. I think is a sub, right? And Aurora is a pretty high impact champion in this kind of game. It does look like they're a spectator delay, but yeah, I think a huge amount of execution rests on Aurora, kind of like. Oh, that is Allura. Okay, okay. So yeah, the Aurora champion has a pretty high threshold of execution, specifically in the comps like this. So it's on Allura to make things happen too.
And he's absolutely a player that was capable of those feats. We will take a short break. A spectator delay winds itself down before getting into game number 1. welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 1 between Hank Whittleberg and the Soy Kittle Predator Slayers. Both teams yet to drop a game, 2-0 in their first 2 weeks. Someone's going to have to take their first loss. Last I checked in the League of Legends rules, there are no ties for a single game. So, should be an interesting one here.
Yeah, already pings and wards coming out all over the mid lane. And important to note that Luke Killers is going with the Ghost, while Lara sticks with the Teleport. Pretty important for mid laners to have combat summoners these days, especially with the home guards changes, and Ghost seems to be the summoner of choice, so let's see if this is impactful or not.
I mean, with those home guard changes, a lot of folks just thinking, you know, ghosting back to lane isn't really that much loss over taking teleport. So teleport definitely gonna have more strength later, because you can push out side lanes and move around the map with the ghost. Basically gonna do the same thing in lane of just making sure you don't miss out on your farm. Junglers will be pathing in opposite directions. Jarvan gonna try to play for this Misfortune Leona. Meanwhile, Microsoft Store gonna be pathing up towards the Zahed.
Yeah, interesting that the Malphite is pathing up. I feel like the team with Varus and Karma really needs to play through the Karma. Karma in particular needs to be a strong point on the map, because unlike other enchanters and unlike other like most supports in the game, Karma is extremely powerful prior to the 15 minutes, and that's exactly how you want to play around it, because she falls off a lot more compared to the other enchanters as well.
And this Misfortune Leona lane is definitely one that is going to feel the hurt. Leona can try to look for angles. She's mostly just going to be Karma W'd and beaten on anytime she goes in. So will be a lane that maybe the side of Hide on Bush can get something going. They are going to play aggressive up here. Hyrax needs the heal, does get hit up. Now a stun comes across, and Soy Blake just trading autos with Jerry. Another hail of arrows comes on down. Hyrax looking for the longer trades. They flash in, but the Leona's there with the stun as well. Mantra Q whiffs. Barrier from both AD carries, but here comes the last arrow. Soy Blake still staying alive, but flashes into the E. Okay, at least we have Hide on Bush here to clean it up. It'll be 2 for 2 summoners all over the floor, and that is perfectly fine, at least for Hide on Bush.
Yeah, I mean, they had everything they wanted. This Varus doesn't have cleanse and burn flash, but they decided to re-engage and try to all in again, and they just couldn't execute on that. But it's not like they needed to do it anyways. Like, all they needed was a little bit more patience, and then the goat Hide on Bush would have came to clean them up. But it played out this way, and Hyrax and Jiri Enjoyer make out with 2 kills.
Yeah, and you call out that you didn't like Microsoft Store pathing up to topside. Well, his topside didn't even stay safe. His topside gets solo killed by the Ornn. Not quite what you maybe want from Zahen. I'm personally I'm still adjusting to understanding what this champion does well, what he does poorly. I understand Ornn is no slouch, but I don't feel like that's the way you draw it up.
Yeah, I didn't even see that the solo kill happened up in the top lane, but this kind of like changes things for Microsoft Store, because imagine if he was pathing down now, like your bot lane just somehow managed to get a double kill while being ganked, and now you have to leave them again when they have no sums and they don't have cleanse at all. The Hide on Bush is gonna beeline for another gank probably, and they're just gonna be left to dry here. This map stays a little bit rough now.
And we do see Luke Killer's getting quite low. We're almost getting him. Gonna flash go between worlds. Luke Killers respects it. Flash for flash. Allura doing a nice job with the mages in mid.
Yeah, an interesting fun fact. The last time Allura and Luke Killers faced off was this exact lane matchup. Syndra versus Aurora, and the game ended with Luke Killers going 0-9-0. So that's kind of interesting. But now we see Doug
Nice
coming
fun
in the
fact.
bot lane. That's exactly what happens.
All right. Yeah, here comes Shield of Daybreak down, and the Jarvan is here. The Malphite is not. Hyrax is going to try to trade whatever he can, but now it's Hide Bush on a killing spree and stacking up some lethality items on the Jarvan.
Yeah, it's exactly what she wrote. Sumless pushing lane, especially with no cleanse. So they don't have a choice but to push their lane with Varus Karma, and it just gets stuck in an awkward spot, and Bush will just take advantage of that fully.
Yeah, really nice job. They're going to be able to convert that into a dragon take as well. Jarvan will hit 6 after he gets that dragon. We'll also be able to get the 3rd crab spawn. So overall, pretty nice. Malphite's going to need another camp before he can really get active with his ulti and try to affect the map. Maybe that's the thought process for Microsoft Store, is like, hey, I'm not going to really be too useful with my cheese wheel, my fists, and my ground slam in anything that happens. So I'll just path for whatever best suits the camps. As meanwhile, Allura having to go between worlds and get himself out of there.
Yeah, forcing the ult out on Allura will relieve a lot of pressure for the killers. We'll be able to live another day, possibly. And more scuffling happening in the top lane. Dr. Patient walking in out. Already has the Warden's mount. Does reduce a lot of damage from that Zehen Q. And getting that solo kill early just relieves so much pressure from him as well.
Absolutely. It is still a modest CS lead for the Zehen, as you kind of want. But now here comes the Ornhorn. The combo with the E into the R, but L9 able to use that Grim Deliverance to buffer through.
Yeah, ult's traded in the top lane. Average top lane handshake matchup, I guess, right now. But pretty important to be able to neutralize the top lane. That's pretty good for Dr. Patient. He'll be able to not have to worry about a Grim Deliverance call in the next minute or so.
Oh, but now Chains of Corruption coming out from Hyrax. They want to turn it onto Leona. Kittle able to flash away. Mantra Q connects, and the big Q hits. Hyrax able to get the kill, and now maybe chasing down into Soyblake. The speed from the shield isn't going to get him through the Make It Rain, but still, that's what you want to see from this powerful duo.
Yep, this is exactly what they want out of this Varus Karma 2. Extremely hard to play something like Leona or Alistar, or one of these like more stationary engaged supports. So Microsoft Store is now in the bot side, but you see he's down 20 CS because he has to give up his whole top side to play for his bot side now. And now Doug
does have that ult, and Luke Killers has no flash. They're gonna just Malphite R over the Scatter the Weak, and Allura, unfortunately, not able to pick up that kill. And now here comes Hide on Bush with Kittlecat by his side. Jerry, though, now turning up on the Karma. Flash out from Hide on Bush. Bot laners show up to the play, and that's able to even it out 1 for 1.
Yeah, Doug already having the Profane Hydra completed makes him pretty powerful in that. Malphite also rushed the Bramble Vest, so not too scary.
Well, we got a steering charge under the tower, but I don't think there's another Brittle proc there for Dr. Patient. L9 going to be able to try to heal up a bit more. As Jerry and Jorah hits another Mantra Q, but not enough damage. L9 trying to get away, but the Cataclysm comes on down. Now Allura trying to get something back. Needs a bit more damage. Doesn't have it. Dr. Patient making some space. It is going to be a 2 for 1 on the Grubs.
Whoa.
As we actually have an engage into the bullet time. Jerry's able to get away, and now the root onto Leona going to come on down. Soyblake's in a rough spot, dodges the arrow. Hyrax needs another ability up in time, but he won't get it. Got very dicey down there for both sides, but nothing doing in the bot lane.
Yeah, I saw what she was going for. Leona's E and then R before the E hits. That buffer is incredibly strong. That would have definitely guaranteed the kill on Hyrax, but the R went a little bit.
Oh, another Mantra, another poke. And it's a dead Leona for the 3rd time. Didn't have the R, didn't have anything capable of soaking up that one. And now we're seeing, even though their jungler didn't care about them too much, Hyrax and Jerry getting off to a nice start.
Yeah, just unlucky. I think if she had the Solar Flare placed in the correct spot, that was definitely a 2v2 kill. Yeah, bot lane just continues to be a sinking hole, but at least Soy Blake does have the BF sword finished. Getting that component out of the way is pretty good. Will relieve a lot of time for him to get the blood.
Yeah, but now we've got an unstoppable force in the mid lane. Unleash power not going to do enough. And maybe there's a counter play. Profane Hydra's finished. And Jerry needs to be careful. Does get the flash away from the flag and drag. Now he's slowed up. Microsoft Store trying to maybe chase this one in. Has the empowerment from the Karma. Just beating him down with the fists. But we know ult on the Malphite. He's not really scary. But he's going to try to keep on going. Jarvan has to flag and drag away and seed the precious Scuttlecraft.
Yeah, the Rock is just running at you. He doesn't even have ult, but he's just running at you. Even with the Profane Hydra finished, Hide on Bush knows his limits and is not willing to just all in there, even though he has Cataclysm up. And they do lose the Scuttle. They are losing control of the bot side. That early 2v2 kill that Soy Blake and Kiddo Kit Kat had given over is looking wondrous for them now, but...
Oh, but now we have a pick onto Microsoft Store. This time the Cataclysm comes on down. It is 6-0 for Hide on Bush. That should transition nicely into their second dragon.
Yeah, Hide on Bush is pulling out the whole kitchen sink. Here we go, Hyrak.
Okay, that's going to be Leona hit up by the Chains of Corruption, but she's able to get out alive while Jerry and Joyer will not. Now Hyrax's in trouble. Here's Between Worlds to try to get something back, but the weirding, the twofold Hex isn't really doing much. Allura going to try to walk this one out, but here comes another flag. Here's another drag. Ooh. Trying to flash away, but the scatter hits across the rift, and that is 3-0 for the side of the Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers.
Yeah, Jerry and Joy are just being a little bit disrespectful.
What?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. But yeah, I don't feel there was any need for Hyrax and Jerry and Joy to be anywhere near at Tribrush or even in the river in general, and they get punished for their positioning. And now Microsoft Sword again doesn't have unstoppable force for another minute. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if the Misfortune had the Bloodthirster, so maybe Hyrax is saying, hey, we've got the Ghost Blade, we've got the Moonstone, we're strong here in the bot lane, let's take this fight. But Malphite without ultimate is not going to contribute a good bit, and it feels like they definitely could have left that one alone. It's now a 3k gold lead and a 2 dragon lead to the side of the Predator Slayers.
Yeah, and that entire 3k gold lead is basically just Hide on Bush. He has 2 items complete at 13 minutes with boots. Insane performance once again from Hide on Bush's J4.
Yeah, the farm difference here between the junglers is looking like what I would have expected it if you played Malphite in the jungle last year. Where it's like, oh, without this Bomby Cinder, he can't play, and even with it, he's not going to clear camps. Being 20 CS behind against a champion that isn't like a Lilia, a Fiddlesticks, and Ivern, these power clearers. Not what you want, really, from the Malphite. He's got a garage sale of items. I mean, you don't typically see the bombies get completed, but he's probably going to have to do that just to get to a first item spike. At some point, I'm not sure about a Bramble, personally, for a Malphite. But yeah, definitely good stuff from Hide on Bush. He'll have the Axiom's Arc. We've seen him get 2 Cataclysms in one fight with that thing. Definitely going to be a power point. As now Luke Killers could be in trouble again. This is the main target for Microsoft Store. But guess what? That ult's not up. I wonder where it could have gone. Luke Killers does actually get ulted as it just comes up off a cooldown, but it's not enough in the moment. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it's Hyrax getting the shutdown and killing off Soy Blake. And so even though all these attempted plays in the mid lane are going awry, I mean, the bot play is going to go awry as well because they stick around way too long. And now it is going to be an 11-kill Jarvan 14 minutes into the game.
So, someone check his PC, guys. This guy is just steamrolling the entire game. Hide on Bush gets the kill instantly on Allura, and then they turn and one-tap Microsoft Store before he can finish off Luke Killers, then just sprints it straight down bot, picks up another double there. If they had Sword of the Occult, this guy would probably be at 25 stacks already. What a performance.
Yeah, it's looking like another lethality Jarvan clinic. And I mean, there's not going to be a great way to pin this guy down as Ornhorn comes across. Tower goes the way of Zehen. L9 going to be able to walk this one out. Searing Charge misses, and L9 more than willing to take this fight. Top laners have been pretty isolated. No one has paid them a visit, except for that little bit over Groves. But now Luke Killer's in a rough spot. He's got no flash. That poke over the wall from the Jarvan isn't doing too much, but hey, they don't have a lot of damage, and now they're getting turned around on. Solar Flare on top of Jerry Enjoyer, and he is gone. Now Unleashed Power sets up the second, and he's just picking up them all on the side of Hide on Bush.
Yeah, bring back Sword of the Occult. The 13-0-2, 16 minutes into the game, 15 out of 16 kill participation. It's just, this guy's putting on a clinic. It's crazy. I mean, the coordination is also pretty good there. It looked like Luke Killers was caught out, but I was watching the ghost timer just ticked over and he got it back up in time. And he was able to dodge out some crucial skill shots, and they're able to turn it around there. But yeah, what a clinic.
We talked in draft about how the early lanes should be favoring the side of Hank Whittleberg. And I mean, Zehen did get that tower all by himself. He's up 20 CS. The Varus is up 20 CS. But then you pan to what's happening in the mid jungle, and it is not looking great. And for the side of Soy Kiddo Prayer Slayers, they have gone as their mid jungle has gone. When they're popping off, the team has looked unstoppable. And they are once again, especially Hide on Bush, piloting this game to the finish line.
Literally might just get one tapped here. Oof.
Yeah, Unleashed Power comes on down. Not enough damage. Karma isn't too threatening, but the J4 definitely is down in the bot lane. Does get hit up by the chains, but not underneath the tower. The lethality Varus combo only doing half HP, so Hide on Bush will preserve his Mega Giga shutdown and help his team whittle away at the bot tower.
Yeah, 4 minutes after his second item completion, he now has a full Cerildros done.
Nice.
3 item J4 at 17 minutes is pretty scary, let's say. And Jerry Enjoyer about to face check him.
Mantra Q slowing up Luke Killers, but he just throws the chicken at him, makes some space. Soy Blake, I mean, is going to try to strut this one out. Does have decent damage, but the arrow just strikes him right through the heart. And Hyrax trying to be the salvation for the side of Hank Whittleberg.
Comes Hide on Bush.
The Searing Charge hits the pillar, and they're not able to connect there. It will be a tower in bot for Hyrax. So Varus, if he doesn't get one tapped by a Cataclysm or an Unleashed Power, is going to be pretty relevant to this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, lethality Varus not having quite enough.
Oh no, Allura trying to go between worlds, will be able to use it to escape from Luke Killers and Kittle. Microsoft Store is up here in the top lane, finally saying hello, but I mean, I can't expect that they have enough damage to get through the Ornn, even though it is Garage Sale Ornn teching out for every single thing under the sun. He's got Bombies for the wave clear. He's got Bramble for the heal cut. Yeah, the Spectres for Animarius, the Wardens for armor. And he finally finishes the Hollow Radiance.
Yeah, 19 minutes into the game, finishes his first item. We'll take that. Microsoft Store hanging around the wayside.
And Dr. Patient gonna E away, but he's ulted up by Microsoft Store. Grim Deliverance over into the tower. Dr. Patient has a long way to go to safety. He is tanky, but not tanky enough. Jerry and Jory even here to make sure that they're covered and safe as they get the pick on sides.
Yeah, Laura's gotta be careful here.
Oh, he's able to dodge away from the scatter, but oh, and he even burns the flash in the face of the J4. Soy Blake, though, gonna get hit back by L9 Soraka, and that is not the place you want to be. Not able to strut out of that one, as maybe Zehen getting a bit strong in his own right, going to be doing a lot of damage with this Herald to the inhibitor tower here.
Yeah, we do see the power of these side lanes, though, so they do get a lot back top through L9 Soraka, but might not have much longer left. The flashes out of the solar.
will at least be able to get away, but now missing that flash, which is going to be pretty critical for any contribution to fights. And also, he's just not going to get away regardless. Luke Killer strikes him down. But with everyone on top side up dealing with that Zehen, it's maybe opened up the opportunity for the Dragon. They're teleporting down, though, and Jerry is just going to get melted. J4, though, taking a lot of damage back until the Horn rolls through the station. Here comes Between Worlds. The Locket soaks up a lot of damage. Luke Killer's not able to find the scatter, but Kittle is there with the CC. Everyone is able to convene on the Dragon. It is Soul Point. It is a 6K gold lead for the side of the Soy Kittle Predator Slayer.
I think that Maul actually saved him because he was just face tanking the Hyrax and Microsoft Store just face up, and they might have had a chance to kill him, but that slight magic shield blocked a lot of Malphite and Varus damage, not to mention the MR, and he just straight sent it and got away with it too. That was crazy.
Yeah, doesn't even die, doesn't even drop his 1K shutdown, and things are looking very nice for the side of Soy Kittle Predator Slayers. The Man Immune wasn't stacked up on Hyrax, so even though he's kind of been the strong point for Hank Whittleberg, he was not quite at that 2-item spike you want as the Varus. Meanwhile, we are going to see the Ornn items come on through to even add on to the effective lead that the Predator Slayers have.
Yeah, 8K gold lead at 21 minutes. I have a feeling this game is all but closed now in one fight. Maybe side of Hank Whittleberg will have one chance to get back in, punch up, but as the game progresses, it's looking more and more dire.
Last time Allura and Luke Killers played, you said Luke Killers had the 09 scoreline. Allura might be heading down there himself in this one. 0-4 thus far on the Aurora. This was his pick into the Syndra. The lane was nice. He got some good setup from Malphite to close down some kills, but it is not quite been great for the Bunny Mage as she gets pushed off the top tower, and that'll all go to Luke Killers. Might have a bit of a scuffle as Microsoft Store in danger. The Ornn is going to Searing Charge away on bot side, and Microsoft Store did have to burn the ult. But now here comes the engage. The flash doesn't get him away. Into the Cataclysm goes Jerry, and down into the grave as well.
Great play by Kittle Kitkat to call Jerry Enjoyer's bluff and E-Flash anyways, even though she was melee range, and they did get the flash out of her. Karma will be sitting in duck for next fight as well, and Baron will be started here.
Yeah, Misfortune does struggle with Barons early into the game, but I don't think it's going to matter when your Jarvan is sitting at 4 items, when there isn't going to be much of a response with no Malphite ultimate, no Karma on the map. Well, that will be Baron in a very commanding, almost unpassable lead for the side of the Soy Predator Slayer.
Yeah, this next soul fight in 2 minutes will probably be Hank Whittleberg's last chance to try and find any foothold back into this game. They gotta start setting up now.
What do you think Hank Whittleberg needs for that miracle? What are you looking for in this deciding soul fight?
Well, I think what they need right now is for Microsoft Store to not die. That might not be the case.
Oh, but he actually brings the J4 in on top of Jerry and Jory. They both get hit up by the Cataclysm.
Ooh.
And, I mean, there is no more appropriate name for the way this game is going. Solar Flare in mid. Hyrax gets caught. It's 3 dead. They're not able to contest for the vision. They're all getting caught out. L9 going to try to do something on the Zehen, but he's scattered. Tries to go in with the Grim Deliverance. Gets a massive heal, but he doesn't even have the passive. Legendary for Hide on Bush. A 5th kill to Luke Killers to cap off the ace. And they're just going to roll over this game.
Yeah, they probably did everything opposite of what they needed to do to try and fight that soul, given that they will be up before it, but they also just gave another 6K. The total gold lead is about 15K now, and here we go again.
Well, Jerry at least dodges the scatter, gets to savor the final moments, but it's not enough. As J4 is out of mana. I don't know if he has another flag and drag in him, but I don't know if Microsoft Store can really do anything about it. Down 4 levels on the Malphite. The scatter misses, but the make it rain will make it a painful exit for Microsoft Store. I mean, this Malphite's been getting as much use as Microsoft Copilot this game, so it's not going to be much of a contest on this Mountain Soul fight.
Yeah, Dragon will be spawning. They have no way into their red side. I think Widowberg just walking straight in Allura. We'll see that horn around the corner. It should be Soul picked up at 25 minutes for SPS.
We will probably see Item Bush finish his final item, cap off the 6-item jungle build. Never before seen, not even supposed to happen if we're being honest with how League it kind of is right now. But nonetheless, he has been fantastic in this game from start to finish with the early ganks on the bot lane, picking up all the kills, and then just finding these picks on the lethality Jarvan, getting big cataclysms in, you know, that one dictating team fight we had over Dragon. And now with Mountain Soul, I mean, there wasn't much hope when you're down 15k gold, but you know, the lethality Varus was kind of strong. Against Mountain Soul, he's not going to really be doing much of anything. Horn going to roll on through here as they look for Microsoft Store, doesn't find him. A Cataclysm almost blows up Allura in a couple spells, and he's able to hunt them down from between worlds.
He's just
L9 Soraka not able to survive. Jarvan staying alive, but now has the Hex Drinker, and the team's going to come in to back him up. Hide on Bush gets to just send it into the entire enemy team. Kill off the mid laner, walk it off, and strut forward for a game 1 win.
20-0 and 11. 31 out of 35 kill participation. Almost a Flame Horizon in the jungle. That was an unbelievable performance to watch.
Yeah, I think Jarvan might need to get its way onto the bans of pocket picks for the side of Predator Slayers, and on the side of Hank Widowberg, feels like they didn't really get to do much. We didn't see really any Malphite ults aside from, you know, just hitting one guy to try to get picks on them. We didn't see many Aurora assassinations. We saw Zahen in the side lane. I guess that's what he's good at. But all in all, that Jarvan ran the game from start to finish.
Yeah, insane performance. And I think a huge part of it was Microsoft Store choosing to pad top. That really just opened the floodgates for Hide on Bush to just gank bot on repeat, a pushing lane with no cleanse, with no flashes on the first gank. You can just repeat that all day, and that really set him up.
We will step away for a short moment before game number 2 to see if Hank Widowberg can get something going and keep this series going to 3.
Welcome back. We took a short break, but game 2 draft is about to be underway. Game 1 was quite a dominant showing from Doug Hide on Bush, whatever his name is, but I hope you all know now. Keep J4 on that ban list when you play against this team. That was pretty insane to watch. Shiv will have to step away for a little bit, so I will be taking control of cast for this game, but we will have draft underway shortly. Oh, I feel like I have so much freedom now. Hop into draft. But draft is now underway. SPS choosing to stay with the same first ban, and Hank Whittleberg also electing to stay with the same first ban as well. And Bessa and Nico taken off the board. Gwen, Akali might follow, but Graves, they're respect banning Hide on Bush a little bit more now, but they will leave Akali open maybe. LeBlanc being taken away from Allura, and they might. What did Hide on Bush play last time? I think it was Evelyn. I don't know if they'll ban that, but seemingly targeting Hide on Bush now. Akali still could be taken out, potentially Talia, some other strong mid pairings. It will be Rise. Interestingly, I believe Luke Killers has been playing a little bit more Rise, so it could be showing up a lot more in the match history. And just like that, SPS electing to take the B1 Akali, throwing down the gauntlet and saying, "You won't counterpick me." And Luke Killers just having faith on the champion. Let's see what this is followed up with. Notably, Jace is still open right now, but Twitch being slammed in phase 1 is very interesting. Twitch Lulu immediately being slammed. A strong pairing, a strong hyper carry combo. Lulu also very good against Akali, so it'll make it a little bit harder for Luke Killers to fully assassinate Hyrax. But showing a hyper carry combo like this, especially with someone that's not too strong in lane like Twitch, is a little interesting. I do respect the choice. Jinx is not something I would pick into this, but Jinx being locked in for Soy Blake, and now we'll see what the support pairing will be. Maybe another enchanter pairing. There's not that many available though. It might have to just be like Rel here, but we'll see what SPS elect to lock in. They could also just blind pick their top here. And Mundo being locked in, I guess technically a flex, but Mundo being locked in is predominantly in the jungle nowadays. And Cassiopeia, also technically a flex, being locked in maybe to answer the Akali. But so far, interesting drafts from both sides. I feel like they've completely switched up their directions a lot. So like Hidden Predators electing now with Hank scaling jungler, while Hank Whittleberg locking down another strong AD carry, but this time a very strong side scaling hyper carry ADC alongside the Lulu and counterpick on mid lane. Milio being banned out, also very interesting. I don't think there's anything really Milioable on the side of SPS. but maybe just a respect ban against Kiddo Kit Kat. And further bans against L9 Soraka up in top lane as well. Although with the R5 pick, it will be pretty hard to ban out all the counters that they are looking for. A lot of good blue side blind pick top champs still available, like Sion, like Cassante, like Rumble, I guess. So we'll see if SPS chooses to elect or chooses to lock in just a straightforward tank in the top lane, someone that has a lot of value. Rengar being banned out, so they will respect the Mundo flex. And the final ban being Jace, another jungle top flex ban, also a strong jungler on the patch in general. And Trundle being locked in. Now, Mundo players know that Trundle is actually bad against Mundo. So if Doug is the one piloting this Mundo, he is very happy to see this Trundle being locked in. If this is Mundo Trundle jungle, I mean. Top lane, it might be a little different, but I feel like the core of it is that Mundo, Trundle steals resists, right? But Mundo only stacks HP. He barely has resists. On top of that, he goes Swifties a lot of the time. So he's just a big sack of HP that you barely steal resist from, and he can run away from you anyways a lot of the time. Meanwhile, Seraphine being locked in to pair with the Jinx. Not really a traditional pairing, not really a very strong lane either. I feel like I would give the edge in this lane over to Twitch Lulu. And we will see whether the flex is revealed here or not. And there we go. A strong blind on this patch. A very popular champion right now. Cassante being locked in for the top lane for Dr. Patient on the side of SPS. We will see what L9 Soraka comes up with here. The Trundle does have a lot of value against the Cassante, so there is that. They want to lock in just another strong 5v5 top laner, and also a great counter pick to the Cassante, a Mordekaiser being locked in for L9 Soraka. I would say overall, I do like the side of Hank Whittleberg a little bit more this time. I favor them slightly this game. Again, with 3 winning lanes, it seems like, or 3 like strong lanes that are not losing, and SPS has 3 lanes that are not like winning. I would say it this way, as opposed to just winning or losing. But the scaling out of Mundo Seraphine, Jinx, is definitely there.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, I got another guy on the cast now. But yeah,
Yep. You can go ahead.
so
Okay. Before that, can you tell them really quick?
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hello,
so
it's me,
now
Hoptech.
we have a Hoptech joining the desk. Hello, hello.
Hello, it's me.
Yes, yes. And now looking at the
Uh,
drafts, you got any thoughts?
yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting draft. I think the first pick of Kali is definitely interesting. Not sure if that was like meaning to be a flex because I think their top laner just plays tanks mainly, more or less. So looks like Luke Killers was just comfortable enough to just pick that Akali first pick. But I think it opened up, a lot of options for Hank Whittleberg to kind of pick into what the Akali wants to do. But despite that, I feel like they didn't do that great of a job. There isn't that much CC on the side of Hank Whittleberg. They they got like a pretty good matchup mid, but I think besides that, it's kind of just the Lulu who gets to do, the stopping in terms of like the Akali engages. Or I guess the Mordekaiser too, but Akali can just run away from Mordekaiser ult. So yeah, I feel like the adaptation after the Akali pick wasn't that great. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I will say that picking Jinx into Twitch is not very fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be pretty nightmarish for Jinx to play this game. Assuming that Hyrax and Jerry Enjoyer and the rest of Hank Littleberg are playing for their bot side this game.
Hmm.
And yeah, Twitch can kind of hyperscale that comp in theory because Lulu will keep him very safe from the one threat that can reach him. And
Yep.
if Mordekaiser can just wall off Sante, maybe they can deal with Mundo. I mean, Mundo just goes where he pleases, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a little bit concerning as well. Like, not too much damage for the Mundo, I think. But if the Mundo walks in, like I think the Casio gets to just kind of free farm the damage. Um, I think the objective of the game here is just to not let the Mundo scale. That being said, I think overall, besides like the first pick, I think their team comp. I really like Hank Whittleberg's team comp. I think it responds to like their threats pretty well, and I think like um, picking like Trundle Mordekaiser like a strong lane to kind of just like run topside, just punish the Cassante over and over again is probably what their game plan is going to be. Kind of leave bot lane on a little bit of an island with like the Enchanter double matchup. Like probably nothing happening there, and
oh,
the
I think
Mundo
it's
is just
gonna
gonna scale. You think it's gonna be
I think it's
war?
gonna be the opposite. I
Really?
think I think there's gonna be a lot of attention bought because like Jinx is such a like weak champ in lane, and Jinx Seraphine is not like a particularly strong pairing. They definitely lose this 2v2. So it's really
Yeah.
on both junglers to try and like flip the states of the lane and either stabilize it for SPS or push the advantage for Hank Wilberg. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's my
yeah.
take.
No, I think they definitely have the advantage, obviously, in the Hank Whittleberg sides, but um, I think I just am expecting the Trundle to kind of just run top, like have a little bit more priority to go top side. Like I expect him to start bot side this game on his clear, and run top. Whereas like yeah, Mundo might do the opposite, probably to help Bill his Jinx out the lane. Um, but yeah, we'll just have to see, honestly.
Yeah. With that, we will head to the short spectator delay. So we will see y'all when the game starts. Welcome back to game 2 of SPS versus Hank Whittleberg. Both sides facing off. Hide on Bush putting on a clinic last game. Let's see if the same thing happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching that game from the bleachers, but that was a little crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all. Just the Jarvan just randomly going 20-0 against what most people are thinking in this tournament to be the best team in this tournament. Like, what a performance.
Yeah, I guess we got a new king now. But Hide on Bush. Both junglers electing to pad down. So yeah, definitely trying to keep and preserve the state of what both bot laners want it to be. Hyrax maybe cheesing in a little bit here.
Yeah, and this matchup supposed to be a little bit, Cassio favored in the early game, but Blue Killer's obviously picking this champion first. Very comfortable on most matchups, I would assume. So we're gonna see a little trading in the bot lane. Heal burned early.
Popped early, so like also popping the barrier to trade. Hyrax still having the barrier available. Will flash forward. The last auto barely dodges. We'll see if the glitter lance is in range as Hyrax now has to take aggro over Kiddo KitKat. She also has to flash as well. Both flashes being burned again. 1.5 minutes into the lane for both bot laners.
Yeah, that is yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I didn't think it would just be bot, like, complete war this game. Both junglers are pathing bot, so you're absolutely right about that as well. I kind of assumed that, the Trundle would kind of run topside to maybe set up something, but looks like we're going to see a war in the bot lane after all.
Fine. Soraka doing a bit of smacking. Has taken the ignite as well. Should be a pretty Mordekaiser favored matchup early in the lane, but Hyrax having the barrier available does hold a little bit of advantage. But Jinx does have early push, so she will use those rockets to be able to take control of the lane on the bot side. We'll trade out some HP for it, but getting the wave in is pretty huge for both these junglers.
Yeah, and I would like to think that as well. So like finally taking control, getting the push back onto his side. So they'll have prio for this battle as Akali actually roams onto Microsoft Store here, and they take a lot of damage onto Microsoft Store. He's gonna fall down to that Akali.
Yeah, Luke Killers with a very incredibly well-timed roam, while while Alera was just choosing to reset, and they pick up Microsoft Store for his efforts. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, insane roam from him. Akali not someone you're thinking about, you know, getting prio in the early game, especially against, you know, a ranged matchup, but was able to do that and get that kill onto his side.
Alright, so we'll be taking a bit of damage here. Doesn't even pop the barrier in time. Wow. As soon as the double Q from Kiddo Kit Kat landed, I knew he was going down. But another kill going over to SPS early in lanes there, or positions that they're favored in, or unfavored in.
Yeah, pretty insane. Yeah, I mean, they're just, like I said, this is like the team that we're used to seeing. Just like overall, just a really strong package in all the roles, whether it be mid lane, bot lane, they're all making plays all around the map.
Yeah, and throwing down the Twitch Lulu on 1 and 2 early in the draft was really trying to send a huge message as the Ignite drops onto Dr. Patient. He's slowly ticking, and the flash will secure the last hit onto Dr. Patient. A solo kill for L9 Soraka.
Huge solo kill there to get his team back on the road, but his mid bot side gonna have to do a little bit of catching up. Is there gonna be more warp down on the bot side? Double traps on both of them. Hyrax got to step back as Soyblade walks forward, try to get a few more autos as Luke Killer tries to trade in mid as well.
He says worth for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but good trade down on the bot side.
Might be lurking around in the mid lane. Hyrax once again sneaking up like a little rat. Will land one auto. Back off. But and essentially what this lane is, I don't think anything will happen here. Killer's getting chased out of the mid lane. Will step forward into the range of the miasma, but will dash around with the crowd. Has to flash out, but baited enough just in time for hide and bush.
No flash.
And smack his way to another kill. And now Allura here also has to flash. Has no ghost available and is just running in circles. Will fall. A double kill to hide on bush. We've seen where this kind of game goes.
Yeah. Mundo being fed this early is just like the worst thing you want to see, honestly. Yeah, and I mean, Doug getting it, you know, going in the early game once again. I feel like we saw this the first game, and they've got to be telling themselves, you know, like just make sure the jungler doesn't get fed. Like we can win the solo lanes, or like we can do good in the solo lanes. Like we'll be fine. But you know, we're seeing the same story happen once again.
Yeah, it just seems Hide on Bush is just everywhere he needs to be all the time. He skipped his Rugs camp to be there for that fight on that exact timer, and Nuclear was running in circles. I was like, what is he doing? And he even burns his flash for the bait. But in the end, it was so worth it. Now, the side of Hank Winterberg only really has L9 Soraka left in a winning position. And let's see if they put their eggs into that basket. Even Hyrax is down now.
Yeah, 16 CS in a winning matchup, you know, on something like the Twitch, I think Hyrax is actually very comfortable on this champion, knowing the player very well. Oh, as we see a little bit of a kidnap, but doesn't take that ulti. Maybe he thought about it for a second, but didn't opt to take it in there as... Yeah, Cassio kind of just has to step all the way back. Probably wasn't expecting this level of pressure from this matchup, but Akali having an assist and 2 assists. Oh my god. He's dead. Not sure where Microsoft Store started that dragon, given that he has no lane priority.
Yeah, it kind of seems that Hank Winterberg is just kind of lost around the map. Luke was just bring around the blue buff and take the blast cone out of there. Gets a kill and walks out cleanly. 63 to 37 is the jungle CS difference right now. Another clinic is being opened, it seems.
Another clinic indeed. I mean, it's going to be ugly. This is not a good start. Especially for a team that has been undefeated at this point to collapse like this. It's just very uncharacteristic. Definitely not what I was expecting. As Laura going to take a little bit of a trade mid, but probably not much to get there, as Luke Killer is probably just going to take that wave and reset with his newfound kill. gonna be an uphill battle. What do you think that Hank Littleberg should do to get out of this hole that they've dug, or I guess Soy Kittle Predator Slayers have put them into?
I was gonna say their one avenue to get back in was gonna be the grubs, but L9 Soraka just pulls him into death round and takes a quick solo kill real quick. Hideout Bush might now be a little bit out of position, but the pillar does not catch him in time. Still wants the grubs or the Gromp though, and will walk up to smite it. Hits level 8 off that, and we'll just run out of there with the Seraphine shields and popping his own ultimate as well. Just stealing the Gromp in his face like that is crazy, and now they will start the dragon as well.
Yeah, it's brutal. I don't think this Trundle's gonna be able to play the game for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think Microsoft Store and the side of Hank Odelberg were a little bit misinformed about this jungle matchup because, again, Trundle is not super great into HP stackers. Like, he has a lot of value into like real tanks, right? Like Sejuani, Scion, Xante. But it's actually pretty fake versus Mundo because all he does is run around and have a ton of HP, which both are pretty bad for Trundle.
Exactly. Yep. And I think it might have just been like something like a comfort pick. Maybe they didn't have anything to answer into the Mundo. So that's what it feels like right now. This Trundle does not look very useful in this game.
Oh my god! Half of Lura's HP just drops instantly to one Shuriken Black Flip and an auto, and the Hextech alternate.
Yeah. It looks like she opted to go for just a chapter rush with that tier. So looking for that Sarasaurus item, not going for that more tanky build with the Roa. So I mean, Luke Killer's happy to see that until she probably gets the Seraphs, but Allura definitely feeling like he needs to do some more in this game to try and get accelerated. Doesn't want to wait for that Roa spike.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the Grubs fight was really their one avenue for trying to get a way back into the game because they could pull L9 Soraka over and have a strong, meaningful topside to play around, but Adam Bush is able to take this under their noses completely uncontested, removes all the pressure left on the top side. So now the two top laners will be left in isolation for like another 10 minutes. Focus shifts back towards the bot side. L9 Soraka Death Realm becomes available, but when they pop it.
And I think you're wondering what L9 Soraka's plans are in this game. He is playing Mordekaiser, and he is 2-0. So he is strong against, I guess, at least the melee characters. But if this Jinx gets a few items under her belt, and as Luke Killers goes in once again.
All in on the perfect execution again, lands on the Miasma, but will still be able to get the kill anyways. Probably dashes out. But the Seraphine ult will be flashed. Hyrax now turning it back on the Soy Blake. Does barely have enough HP, I believe, and the poison will tick down a Soy Blake, and now also Kiddo Cat. A huge double kill. They needed that so badly for Hyrax.
Huge. They needed that as an understatement. They absolutely were desperate for those kills, and they were able to get them. I mean, Microsoft Store dying mid lane once again. I think Allura also burned his ulti to try and get Blue Killers off there. So no conditions in the mid bot side right now. So I expect Trundle to just kind of, try and salvage something in the top side, as Mundo's just going to keep farming away.
All out comes out. L9 Soraka will take a lot of damage. Will have to flash for his troubles. Death Round comes out, and now the HP does go up a little bit, but in the end,
it's a solo kill.
Will get the solo kill without having to even use flash.
Oh my god, no way.
30 CS down, 1 level down, and he still takes them.
The best player in terms of rank in this tournament just got solo killed. By a substitute, and we're going to see more in the bot lane.
Rocket and the wild growth will keep him alive now. Hyrax is just autoing, straight down, and the Rat-a-tat-tat will get another double kill. They might be getting bailed out on the bot side here.
Yeah, it looks like, you were saying that this matchup is really bad, and I think we're seeing the fruits of that. You see that Twitch Lulu just kind of spike with that Bork. I don't think Jinx can do anything about it at this point. But yeah, I think Hyrax, we were saying that maybe L9 Soraka needed to take this game into his hands, but given he's still pretty fed, he's still pretty strong, but getting solo killed like that, not a good look. Especially by, getting solo killed by a sub at all things, but Hyrax definitely has the gold and the opportunity to do more here. As Microsoft Store is in that top side again. No ulti on that Cassante. As Jerry Enjoyer might have overstayed his welcome and he's going to die to Luke Killers on a rampage now. Great roam by him.
Roam. From Luke Killers, Microsoft Store. Hanging around, does still have subjugation available, so they could dive if they wanted to. And they might choose to, but it looks like it's dying away. They know that.
I feel like they have to. I'm not going to lie. I feel like they have to look for something, but this Trundle is so weak. He might just die to the Cassante trying to take the tower for L9 Soraka, so they just call it off, it looks like.
Yeah, almost 60 CS difference in the jungle at 13 minutes. Or hide on bush. It's pretty crazy. Also, Microsoft Store is choosing to go Blade of the Rune King. Not a common Trundle item, even though it might seem like it.
I'm not sure.
Bush might just walk down Jerry Enjoyer, and she just dies to that, and Hyrax will eat
He
that.
Can't do anything.
Kiddo Kit Kat will take the kill, but Mundo just goes where he pleases, I guess.
Mundo promote Mundo, bro. He can't do, like, literally nobody can do anything. I mean, this is just the mid-game threat of Mundo. He's level 11, 2 or 3 levels on the enemy ADC. He just literally just gets to do whatever he wants. He's the Heartsteel. He has the Swifties. He has that ulti popped. Rank 2. I mean, it's not even, like, close.
Yeah, and it was the perfect timing, too, because Jerry Enjoyer had, like, 2 seconds left on that Wild Girl cooldown, and they got them right before cooldown came up. Crazy timing. Dr. Patient tries to go for another trade here. Mordekaiser will heal that back up. Microsoft Store has to just send it into the top side as he's doing here. Try and look for anything, but now timers of SPS will come up and they will be opening up on the top side, and Microsoft Store will just be caught here. Nothing much of that.
Yep. Yet again, your jungler Bull is 0-5 now. And I'm surprised he built that Bork, because I'm not sure how much talking goes on in this team. I've been hearing rumors that not a lot of comms happen because they just feel like they perform better with less comms. They're much a hands gap player. But Luke Killer's going to try and fight L9 Soraka. It looks to be a mistake. It's a huge shutdown. Give it over to the Mordekaiser. Big mistake. Honestly, big mistake.
Yeah, that will be a ton of gold going over to L9 Soraka again. Soyblake will pick up the mid turret for their troubles. Heal is burned to keep Soyblake in range. One more slow, and the Super Mega Death Rocket picks up the kill. Not Hyrax autoing Dr. Patient down slowly. Gets him to about like 20% HP, but they won't be able to finish the kill. So again, another masterclass of weak side performance as Soyblake and Kiddo Kit Kat continue to open up the rift.
Yep, and they're going to have to be doing more than that, honestly. I mean, Mordekaiser did get that kill, but Soyblake, he's not weak. He did get, he died a couple times as Hide Bush is just going to fist fight L9 Soraka on the top side, pops that ulti. L9 Soraka doesn't have that ulti, but going to get out, and Soyblake just going to pick up that mid T2 for free, it feels like. It's so early in the game to pick up a mid T2. I feel like nowadays it's just these towers are so tanky, but going to get so much gold off of that.
Yeah, a huge amount of gold being funneled into the Jinx, exactly where you want it. Even though Luke Killers does donate a shutdown charity, seems that the gold is being placed right back in the correct people's pockets. And Hide on Bush, Luke Killers level 12, Dr. Patient level 13. Hide on Bush is walking out, but he actually does want the fight against Allura. I guess Allura putting up a little bit of a fight too. Bush does not have ult. We'll have to flash.
No, it doesn't have an ult. It does have flash though, and Luke Killers is here. This might get really ugly for Allura. They do pick up that Mundo, but there's Kiddo Kit Kat with the ulti. Microsoft Store is just paper for Luke Killers. Doesn't even have to burn that ulti. So, I mean, Allura getting that. Oh, we're gonna see Soyblake get opened up on by Hyrax. Huge damage and get taken down. That's big.
Had flash available. Could have maybe flashed out, but Alex will just take the barrier and then die for his trouble. The Arden sensor and the Bork does put out a ton of single target damage still.
So I just noticed that kill would have been huge on Allura, but actually Microsoft Store was the one that picked it up. Little bit unlucky there, but I mean, what can you do? You kind of have to, beggars can't be choosers. I think that's what they say. So at this point, you're kind of just like taking what you can get. But big play by Hyrax and Jerry Enjoy on that.
Yeah, Online Soraka and Hyrax have to be the mega carries for Hank Whittleberg. All the gold is on them, I think, if we look at the whole graph. Both of them are AK. Everyone else not quite around that, as Hyrax once again getting the jump onto Soy Blake. Flashes will be traded, and Hyrax will get the kill, but now here comes Luke Killers in the back and Hide on Bush to get the flank in the front, and he now will be revealed. Wild Growth trying to get him out. Luke Killers doesn't quite have vision of him, and the ulti's not quite available, so perfect execution cannot be used to finish the kill, and Hyrax gets out of there like the rat he is.
Yeah, literally the rat he is, but pretty literally just got away with murder there. I feel like he just opened up, flashed on the Jace, and was able to get out like that. That's got to be tilting. But I mean, this game not really on Soy Blake to carry this one. I feel like it's mainly on Hide on Bush and Loot Killers to take it away for them and, you know, kind of wrap it up. But that being said, I mean, there are 3K gold down. You know, it is pretty big, but I feel like with Hyrax making these aggressive plays, I feel like there's still an opportunity for them to get back into this one.
Yeah, Mundo not level 16 yet, so he still is killable at this point of the game, especially when you have 2 items on your Twitch now at 19 minutes. Definitely strong, and as we see, SPS walking up. Microsoft Scorer will pop the pillow on himself to try and trap Lucas in with him. Lucas has to pop the shroud early, and Encore lands only on Jiri Enjoyer. Luke Killers in a tough situation will go down. Now the Spray and Pray wants to pick up Hide on Bush at the end, but no Collector and not enough damage for Expunge. Will get him out of there, but hugely that's a dragon earned for their efforts for the sides of Hank Whittleberg.
Lucas is way more careful. He has all the gold. He has all the kills. He needs to play his cards right to be able to, you know, maneuver these fights and carry them, because if he doesn't, I feel like there's not going to be much space for Jinx to play. If he dies first, not really much Mundo can do. Obviously, Mundo is very tanky, but he still can get shredded by that Mordekaiser, by the rat.
Oh, here we go. Hyrax once again finding a flashless Jinx, and Majiri Enjoyer right around the corner. The Flame Chompers will land, and Hide on Bush is coming. Let's see if Hyrax can get
he's running.
The claw barely pulls him out. Kiddo Kit Kat
Oh
wants
my
to
God.
get the kill, but the shields come out. The barrier, Hyrax lives once again, and Hide on Bush dies to the claw at the very end. A huge triple kill. So much time is bought. Now maybe Baron, but I mean, they're just clawing their way back into this game.
It's insane. Hyrax is making these plays happen, like legit. I don't know. He's literally carrying the team on his back. He's making these team plays happen. He's just running in, just finding the Jinx. Caught way too far up on mid wave every single time. It's absolutely insane, honestly.
Yeah, this is exactly why Jinx is just so hard to make work in like 5v5. It's just anytime she's on mid wave, she's a sitting duck, especially if there's no Thresh, if there's no Tom Hench, there's no Lulu. Seraphine literally has to use her ult to try and peel her, but just the shields is not enough at this point of the game anymore when Hyrax has these 2.5 items now finished. I don't know whether he goes the Mortal Reminder or the LDR.
I think he has to go Mortal, right? I mean, they have the Seraphine. They have
but the Giant Slayer is like so good now, so I feel like they have to get.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Grievous wounds from elsewhere.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna force his GM mid laner to buy it instead. He's like, "Don't worry, you guys take a backseat. I got this one. Don't worry."
Definitely the right choice, though. I feel.
Definitely.
LDR,
sure.
especially with the Cassante too. It just improves your front to backing that much more. Hyrax sitting in invisibility. Game's like even.
Yeah, I mean, they like just like that. The gold lead is just pretty much like negligible. I feel like 800 gold, not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. This is anyone's game at this point. It was looking like it was really doomed. You know, Hide on Bush being 70 CS ahead. You know, Luke Killer's having like 7 kills. Allura having like legit, you know, he's legit homeless at this point. But you know,
Occupation hits him with the third Topo strike, but Alera will have to pop the Ghost to get out of that. A huge summoner burn, crucially, as Flame Choppers lands on Microsoft Store. He drops low. Super Mega Death Rocket will not be able to finish it, but crucially, the Encore lands. Hyrax autoing for his life now, but he will go down. Maybe two, but he lands enough damage. The Death Realm will finish off Akali, and Hideon Bush is trying to run out of there. This Mordekaiser is now Raid Boss 2. The Claw barely misses. But Jury Enjoyer wants to land the Glitter Lance. There's no pillar available just yet. The Lulu will land the Glitter Lance in the end. Microsoft Store is able to get them a 4-for-1. And only Hyrax loses his life.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, that ult hitting Hyrax, I thought the fight might be over for them, but they just don't have enough damage to, you know, burn down L9 Soraka. I feel like he's kind of the Mundo of his team. This Trundle is legit paper. He keeps building more damage. I don't really know why, but
Yeah, that looks like
L9 Soraka just needs to ult one person and then come out literally like just Thanos. He's 8-1, just has 3 items. He's definitely the strongest player in this game so far.
Yeah, Mordekaiser I feel like is so underrated. It's a great counter pick into these blind tank tops like Sion and Cassante, because he basically is a tank when you pull the tank in, and then once you come out with them, you have like, you steal the resists, right? And you become such a strong frontliner too.
Yep.
So functionally does so much as a champion. And also this Jinx just does not have enough damage to cut through.
Nope, not at all. Nope.
This Mordekaiser right now, yeah, so.
Yeah, unless this Jinx gets, you know, an LDR, I feel like she's not gonna really do much to the side of Hank Littleberg and their front line, but Allura kind of been quiet this game. Maybe this Leandries will help her, you know, get some damage in this fight as we run to Microsoft Store.
The Tri-Bush again will pop the pillar and will not take too much damage back for his troubles. Documentation now teleporting into the bot lane. Dragon not started yet, but L9 Soraka being spotted out while Luke Killers sits in the wake in the blue buff, but now Kings come out on him. He might be spotted as he flanks. Microsoft Store, they spot him walking into the mid lane, but now they try and pull the claw onto Dr. Patient, but L9 Soraka is dropping so low. The Encore lands on 2. Hyrax is caught in the middle of everyone. Can he do enough damage? 4 people just melt immediately. Luke Killers is left by himself, can maybe finish off, but we'll take the perfect execution out.
Oh my god, he didn't kill the Twitch. I feel like, why did he kill the Twitch? He had 600 gold shutdown.
That Encore landed on Hyrax, and he was sitting in the middle of 4 people, but they couldn't kill him.
That is crazy. I mean, 3-item Twitch, he just literally melted everyone. But yeah, I don't know why didn't Luke Killers go for that Twitch? I feel like maybe that was a way to get some gold, you know, maybe swing the gold lead back in his favor. But at this point, I don't know. Hyrax is just so strong. There's so many things that can keep him alive at this point. This Lulu also just, you know, 2 items just can have this Twitch just do so much damage. But Luke Killer's going in actually looking for
a little bit here. L9 Soraka just going down, and Microsoft Store will go down as well. They lose 2 for the mid lane turrets. They do go up in gold, but I feel like those 2 deaths were pretty unnecessary. However, I mean, they will take this winning game state, I feel like, every day.
100% they will. But, yeah, definitely could have played it a little bit better at the end there, but I think it won't matter in the grand scheme of things. I feel like they're just so far ahead at this point, it won't really matter.
I don't know, but not hitting level 16 yet, crucially, so he's still actually very killable. I think he probably will be 16 soon, but these small windows, especially that fight, that crucial fight that got them an advantage, their first gold lead in this entire game, in this entire series probably. But this Mundo is looking quite killable now. And it's really just all down to Hyrax. He
is looking quite killable. And Hyrax, I think once he finishes that IE, he will open up and he will have flash up and they won't be able to do anything about it.
Hyrax opening up in the mid lane will flash respectfully from the Seraphine E and does not know where everyone else is, but he will take the Jinx flash as consolation. A huge reward. Hideon Bush now advances onto Allura. Allura will pop the Ghost as a turret right there to save him from the troubles, but losing Ghost once again to a random Mundo in the bush.
Alright, guys. 11 kill Twitch on my screen.
Yeah, welcome back.
And why is he getting completely flashed on and shut down with a 1k shutdown on his head?
You just had to say something, huh? Had to say something, huh? Had to caster curse him, huh? Just couldn't help yourself.
I guess it's my bad. Double summons off Lulu as well.
Yeah, well,
Take it away from.
there goes the whole advantage that they had. The map swinging back around a bit. Looks like SPS do want to continue this fight.
Twitch has no flash though.
Yeah.
Coming into the next fight, there's not much to play for right now, but Twitch not having flash for the very next fight is gonna be pretty crucial for SPS. Wait,
Patient will lose his life probably for the cancel, but let's see how
This
much
is even
SPS
worth it, though.
are getting on the top side. It hit turret, almost drops. Hyrax getting a position around in the flank. Spray and pray onto the entire backline. The wild growth cancels the
Oh my God.
execution, so he'll live
He's
that.
still alive.
But the Mundo is still alive. Level 16 has been hit, and he is gonna run his business ass out of there. The pillar will not be able to block him. A 1-for-1. Hyrax almost being able to take out Kiddo Kit Kat on the back end of that, but a huge wild growth to save him from the insta death.
yeah, I mean,
I don't think
definitely saved a little bit there. I feel like Dr. Patient probably didn't need to sacrifice himself for just the T3. Don't think it matters that much in the grand scheme of things here. Maybe feel that they were playing for inhib or maybe even the end, I think would have been maybe a little bit more like a better of a sacrifice, but despite that, they do still get the Twitch and that tower.
I think if the teleport went off, it might have been scary though, because Mordecai's are flanking. Be not desired. Baron being up on the map and Infernal Drake to follow in 30 seconds. Both teams sitting at 2 and 2 apiece. Window. Iron Bush will just walk straight in. Does not have the ult available. Will still be able to just walk out the damage, walk out the miasma. Complication teleporting in a pretty ambitious position. Iron Bush now having to lose the ult already, and Encore will just miss onto everyone. Hyrax has not been touched.
Untouched.
Already went down. Mundo is taking up so much damage, and the ult is still going. And in the end, he will live. He will get the kill onto Microsoft Store. Now Online Soraka gets Luke Killers, pops the Zonyas, but will probably lose his life. The ball barely misses, but the Q lands, and Online Soraka is trying to walk out. He lives, and Soyblake is not able to finish the kill either. 4 people down, and probably Kiddo Kit Kat will go down too. That might be the game for Hank Littleberg.
Allura roars to life after being pretty much invisible for the whole game and showing up with his 2.5 items to make sure that they could clean up that fight. But, you know, they have so much time, I feel like, to finish this game out. It looks like it's going to be a 1-1.
Yeah, 10 seconds left on Cassandre, no all out. The wave is thinning, but there's another one coming shortly. Think they should have it. It might be close. Luke Killer's also in 5 seconds. Dr. Vision immediately getting death realm. Luke Killers is up. I think that is the game. An incredible masterclass from L9 Soraka and Hyrax. And a 1-1 scoreline as Hank Littleberg takes the win.
A chaotic final fight. You saw Soyblake trying to get that last auto in to generate the excitement, and maybe there's a miracle in there. He can just get the passive, start chaining kills together. Wasn't able to find the finishing blow. As yeah, fantastic stuff from Hyrax. Blue Killer's not able to hunt him down in that last fight with the encore from Seraphine not connecting, the Twitch able to get to work.
Yeah, I feel like there were so many opportunities for, you know, Luke Killers and Hideout Bush to, you know, further their lead, but I think Hyrax just took the game into his own hands, you know, in the bot side. Obviously, you know, Lance Rocca was winning in his own right, but Hyrax, the bot side was just completely doomed after, especially that bot dive where they kind of all died to Mundo just running at them. So it looked a little rough at first, but I think they were able to claw it back because of Hyrax's efforts.
Yeah, that was that was one of the brattiest performances I've seen so far this DMV. And this third game will be interesting to say the least. But yeah, we will take a short break as we head into game 3. So stay tuned.
They're Welcome in, everybody, as we go in even further into the night for game number 3. Hank Whittleberg able to extend the series by taking game 2 win on the back of Hyrax's Twitch and L9 Soraka's Mordekaiser. We'll see if they can finish the job in game number 3 and keep themselves undefeated in Swiss.
Yeah, it seems draft has already gotten underway, so we'll get straight into that. And right off the bat, the same bands as game 2 coming out. Nico, Ambessa, Graves, and now the Gwen. Akali being picked in game 2 means that it will no longer be available to be banned, and the Rise will take the same spot.
I'm looking through. Does this mean that the LeBlanc might get through? No, they're going to consider that for the final ban. So that will be out of the hands of Hank Whittleberg, and they go right for a scaling crit marksman in the Aphelios.
Yeah, Hyrax putting on a masterclass on scaling crit marksman's last game. We'll see if they have the power to do that this game on Aphelios. Notably, Lulu is gone, so they will need another pairing that can be stable for it, something like the Thresh or maybe a counterpick Blitz or Braum, sorry, or even the Tom Kench if they need. Ari and Yunara on the other side.
Yeah, looking through for SPS, they have been fine with Yunara this tournament thus far, 1-0 on it. So we'll go with it. Last time they paired up with Rakan, which is still available on the books. Hank Whittleberg, meanwhile, I think, like you said, probably going to want to figure out their support pick here. It's likely to be a Thresh. I don't think you can take Braum just looking at these two champions. And if those two go by the wayside and you try to leave it for 4-5, you may not have many options. But Talia, for now, going to be the initial take alongside the Camille. They did not want to wait for that to get banned away from L9 Soraka.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that they did pick the top pick this early and dropped support. Talia into Ari, another good matchup for the mid lane. And Yunara is not something I would traditionally pick into Aphelios, but Yunara is just such a good champ right now. It really depends on the player. And the final pick of Kha'Zix for Hide on Bush. This guy is really throwing
That's
down the gauntlet on these full lethality champions.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one. We don't have those kind of games. I thought Wukong was gonna be heavily favored by Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers in this game as a champion that compare well with the Ari. Has been something they found success on before, but Kha'Zix is definitely a spicy one. See how he's able to team up here in game number 3. Microsoft Store, again, is someone who has played those AP power clears that can be pretty good into Kha'Zix because if he doesn't find stuff early, he'll just get outscaled. So no Gragas for Microsoft Store. I'm curious if we also see something like the Lilia hit the ban table.
Yep, and there's the Braum being banned. I wonder if this means that SPS will be looking to pick and engage immediately and give um top lane counter pick. I think actually maybe they're probably looking for support counter, but then it doesn't make sense to ban the Braum. So I'm not sure what that Braum ban is. Thresh being available still is kind of a concern. We'll see how this goes. Janna being banned on the other side is also quite
Yeah, it feels like
interesting.
the Primo enchanters are definitely gone, especially with Lulu being used in game number 2. I mean, there's no Zeri, so I hope there's no Yumi. I mean, maybe there's a Nami for not quite the enchanter you want with a backline. Doesn't pair great with these champs. Or you can just opt for engage, or you can opt for nothing, as that pick is Pantheon on R4.
The Pantheon top lane, I think this might be hidden tech, but SPS might elect to flex the Ari support. I'm not sure.
I
But
feel like the Pantheon support is maybe what I'm thinking of a bit more, even if it doesn't pair with okay, and we're getting even more weird stuff with Warwick
we got
from
Doug
Microsoft
versus
Store.
Dog in the jungle right now. The final pick coming out and will be Thresh, no surprise. So now we'll see what they can do with this support counter pick here.
I do kind of like the Pantheon as a takeaway. It could have been very nice in the jungle for Hank Whittleberg. You know, Camille locks someone in the side lane in the Hexagon. Pantheon can easily get there. Talia can roam around the map with the Pantheon. So I kind of understand it from that perspective. We'll see exactly how they're going to play it, if it's support, if it's top. I feel like there's better options into Camille. I think people have liked stuff like Aatrox over time as just something that can win early on.
Ooh.
But it does look like that Pantheon is heading into the Camille regardless. They need to figure out what they want, and it's Renata for R5.
Okay, if it was a Nami, this draft would have been completely doomed. But the Renata does save it a little bit. It is still unfavorable for their bot lane, but Renata has a lot of value into Camille and Warwick specifically. So especially against the side of Hank Whittleberg where they don't really have a true front line. Getting CC on anyone at all is super important, and landing anything will allow you to chain some Kha'Zix damage, a charm, maybe like a spear. So any CC at all is really useful, and being able to lock down 2 melees is huge.
Yeah, the composition does seem a bit odd, right? Because you're not really getting engage from any of these roles. You have the Renata that, like you said, is very much fine letting the dive come into her. That feels like the only thing Soy Kittle players can hang their hat on. Kha'Zix is a bit of a wild card. Pantheon can maybe Starfall in, but the engage is very limited to perhaps just Ari trying to pick people off with a charm.
Yeah, both drafts are very weird though because Aphelios Thresh Talia really does wants to do one thing, just like fight in one spot, burst the guy that you can CC and shove with Talia, and then kite around it. But Camille and Warwick on the other hand really just want to run all over the place. Kind of similar to what Kha'Zix wants to do. Like they want to auto something, space out, get a ton of move speed, ult or dash across the fight, hit a squishy, like go all over the place, which is also kind of contradictory to what Aphelios and Talia want to do. So both these comps are really just like all over the place. I really have no idea what to expect this game.
Yeah, it does feel like, maybe we're going to get a lot of sectioned off stuff in these fights as Camille tries to pick off targets, as Kha'Zix and Ari try to pick off targets. I'm definitely interested in what this Kha'Zix can maybe bring. I am not too high on it. It feels like Giga useless unless you scale your W, evolve your W, at which point you're not even really an assassin. So curious to see what Haidon Bush has with this pick. I mean, even in the game two loss, his Mundo was doing quite good work at an explosive Jarvan game in game number one. I think the junglers definitely something to look at here with the spicier picks.
Yeah, I do agree with your sentiment on Kha'Zix. However, tied on Bush on lethality champions. Hopefully it's not
Fair point.
just
Fair point.
J4, but if he is what he's like on J4, then he will prove to be quite a scary threat. Um, with this kind of lethality assassin style that he is so good at.
As we do wait for game number three, nameplates are on. We know what these guys are capable of after two games. Which comp are you liking more here for the final game?
I really I really respect the bravado of just slamming Camille early from Hank Whittleberg. I think this is exactly what they are looking for from their top side. And I don't know if Microsoft sort of plays Warwick. Do you know? I don't know. But if this is something he's comfortable on, having a comfort pick on 4 in game 3 after having a bunch of champs banned out is incredibly huge. So I slightly favor Hank Waterberg's draft a little bit, purely because of L9 Soraka Camille.
Yeah, we'll see how much he can get done on that pick as we go into a bit of a break before the decider in game number three. All right, DMVers, it is time to wrap up week 3. Soy Kittle, Slayers up against Hank Whittleberg in game number 3. Winner gets to stay 3-0 in Swiss and keep the dream of an undefeated Swiss stage alive. Some interesting picks. We got Kha'Zix, we got Warwick, we got double Ignite top. It promises to be a spicy game number 3.
Yeah, I love all the summoners I'm looking at. Double Ignite top, Ghost on Kha'Zix, Ghost on Talia, Ignite on Ahri, and Exhaust on Thresh. There's so many different choices and unique things here. I love the Ghost on Kha'Zix. I had Doug before in our previous DMV, and I remember he Giga Smurfed on this Ghost Kha'Zix. He's the only person I know that really runs Ghost on Kha'Zix, so really excited to see this.
Yeah, definitely. We know Hide on Bush has been fantastic every time he shows up on stream and slamming down people with the Jarvan. We'll see if he can do the same on Kha'Zix. I mean, you're not really expected to get that involved with these lanes as a Jarvan, as a Wukong and other champs he's played. As nice little death sentence into the bot lane, but Aphelios level 1 not going to be exceptionally strong. And actually, they're taking the rougher end of the trade.
Yeah, early.
So a lot of summoners burn in bot.
Should be pretty Yunara favored early on. Yunara has pretty natural push. Dr. Patient.
Oh, but actually, Pantheon getting aggressive. L9 trying to flash away, but can't get the sweep. It's first blood to the Pantheon.
Let him cook. This Pantheon Ignite top. L9 Soraka getting solo killed like 3 times this series by Dr. Patient. This guy's the GOAT.
And this is L9 Soraka's pick, right? It's been banned against him very often throughout DMV. He's willing to blind pick it here in this deciding game, and it goes sideways early here against the early game strength of the Pantheon. As Ahri Talia getting a bit scrappy, even a shove under the tower. And now Lyrak's getting quite low.
Yeah, Soy Blake using the natural prio that Yunara gets quite well. Kiddo Kit Kat also landing crucial spells. The poke is starting to stick onto Hyrax. He drops down a little bit more in HP. These Renata E's are starting to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Renata is not like we always saw with the Kalista, and no one likes Kalista, but she can get paired well with these more scaling picks of Aphelios, of Yunara, and just be a source of maybe not keeping them safe quite to the extent of a Lulu or a Janna, but also having that aggressive capability to give them the bailout and just go to town. As now Kha'Zix, I didn't think he would get involved early, but Lyrax being too low has given them an opportunity. A straight line flash straight to hell, and the bot lane gets something back for the side of Hank Whittleberg.
Yeah, that's a huge bailout for this lane. Hyrax getting some room to breathe, but now Microsoft Store. Ooh,
yeah, nice flash by Dr. Patient. He didn't have to burn it in the 1v1, so he still has the ability to slip away from the hook shot.
Yeah, that straight line flash of Doom, a little bit sad to watch. But oh my god.
Oh, but actually, Dr. Patient stepped back up. Now he's ignited, and the Aegis Assault, though, immunes a lot of damage, and he's able to stay alive.
I think they're just getting scrapped. Oh my god, how does he know?
Oh no, Hide on Bush finds him. And they call the bluff on the recall. Now Dr. Patient could be in trouble. He's got another empowered ability, but doesn't get it in time. So he does fall for his hubris. But now Renata's worked her way over to mid. Lucio is taking a lot of damage, flashing the shove.
Oh.
The big volley is enough. And Allura's on the board with a solo. Kittle trying to get involved here. Luke Killers maybe thought he could play a bit disrespectfully because the Renata was around, not the case.
Yeah, these lanes are just so scrappy. Talia, Ahri, Camille Pantheon, even the Yunara into Aphelios. Every lane is just full of action already. 5 minutes into the game. So many summoners burned, so many kills already.
And Kittle is staying around in this mid lane. I don't think there's really much to do. Gotta get back to that Unar because Hyrax getting a bit bailed out, I suppose, by a maybe too aggressive dive by Hide on Bush, by Kittle Kit Kat, and gifting that kill over. Definitely gonna help him stay safe, stay popping in this lane.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this top lane continues to play out. The triple longsword and boots. Quite scary.
Yeah, as Luke Killers doesn't find the charm. Hakari now maybe wanting to chase this one in. Sidestepping a few volleys, so unless Allura finds a shove, I don't think we're going to have too much here, but we will have Hide on Bush making the way over. Spirit Rush over the rocks isn't going to be enough, and the leap still finds him through the flash. Hide on Bush now 2 kills on the Kazakhs.
That's that ghost, baby. That he gap closed from the bottom side bush straight up the lane and catches him even off the flash. That's the tech. That's Hide on Bush tech right there.
Yeah, now he is going to be able to grab perhaps that dragon as Scuttle is on the other side, and L9 getting a bit low. Will be okay. Dragon started up here by the Kazakhs. Warwick on the other side of the map does hit level 6 off the 3rd crab, though. So they may want to just book this and play for the fight. Hide on Bush trying to get that low with the isolated Q damage. He does secure the Mountain Dragon. Meanwhile, on top lane, the Q2 for the kill, and L9 Soraka is back in it. Kittle Kit Kat now might be caught on the bot side. If you could give this kill to Hyrax, it would be great, but we'll settle for Microsoft Store. Now Allura finding the Kazakhs, running him out of his own jungle. The Chakrams are stacked up. Soyblake trying to do something. A bit of retribution here from Hyrax as he flashes in. Gives up a 3rd kill to the Kazakhs, but still net positive for the side of Hank Whittleberg.
That was really, really close. I will say super well played from Soyblake. Dodged almost everything he could. Forced the Thresh Flash out and also the Aphelios Flash. That hook lands. But yeah, Aphelios had to burn all sums and still died. So in the end, it's not too bad. Yes, Hank Whittleberg did win out, but they got everything they could out of that play. Almost everything.
Yep, not to mention the Camille getting that kill up in the top lane right before we panned it down to that Dragon Fist fight. So even though that Pantheon wanted to get going early, took the Ignite, Camille has the same, able to now fight back here with 2 kills to her name.
Yeah, I wonder if this matchup will start swinging top lane now. Pantheon known for being an early lane bully. I wonder what the threshold will be for this to start shifting. It looks like it might already be. L9 Soraka holding a freeze in his face and daring Dr. Patient to jump.
And now L9 does probably just want to work his way up to that Triforce. That's going to be definitely a big spike for the Camille. 2 items is usually where she comes alive in most matchups, but like you say, Pantheon is someone who kind of falls off a good bit more than other champions, more early game oriented. Does still have the lane in a solid position, so they've opened up an opportunity for Kazakhs to move in for some grubs. Dr. Patient now maybe getting aggressed on as they're just going to go right for the Pantheon, lock him in the Hexagon, and that Pantheon now trying to flash away still gets hit up. Microsoft Store just sweeps by with the unending duress and gifts over a trade kill.
1 for 1 up there, not bad. And they will get the grubs too, so in the end, SPS does win out on the play, but this Pantheon is starting to fall further and further behind, and when your Camille can stat check Pantheon this early into the game, does not tend to bode well for the Pantheon.
Well, it's not boding well here for Allura. Good job with the threaded volleys and the ease to buy some distance. Ignite is dropped. We're popping Ghost at the end of the play and dying anyway.
Yeah, that Ignite. Dangerous Ignite. Great Summoner foresight to finish the kill. Exactly the amount of damage he needed too. So SPS getting some fresh air through their mid jungle.
Are you ready for the surprise of the century? Hide on Bush has the first completed item in the game, and Luke Killers followed very soon after. So we were very doubtful of the Kazakhs, but he's done what he's needed to do. He's picked off some early kills, got early objectives, is in a solid position to contribute as, I mean, maybe as top laner isn't. He did go for the Q evolve, it looks like, on the Kha'Zix. So he does understand that, hey, if I want to actually affect this game more than just creating zones for my team, I'm going to have to do damage. No spike racks, obnoxious. Slows as Dr. Patient gets very low in top. Ignites are traded. Now a Spirit Rush forward as Luke Killers forcing the flash. Allura did not have the Unraveled Earth to stop him in his tracks. Now Hide on Bush making his way up to the top lane for a possible kill.
Yeah, this top lane just stays so volatile, and Hide on Bush reads the play perfectly. Microsoft Store reads it in return in the mid lane too. A 1-for-1 across the solo laners. But this guy is just everywhere he needs to be exactly all the time. It's insane.
Yeah, understands that L9 is going to go for something aggressive. He waits. Like, Camille wants to wait for her adaptive shield to come back up on the passive and then feels confident going for that play. Shouldn't be that confident if she knew Kha'Zix was around. But Microsoft Store at least able to find a play in return. Punish blue killers who didn't have a Spirit Rush to get out of that one. Has a nice hook around the minions. Okay, that should be fine.
Yeah, Hyrax is starting to hurt already. The Collector finished. So the first item finished for his team. So it's definitely a strong.
I'm not sure if that was a forbidden combo with the order of the W and E, but L9 and Soraka still electing for the fight. Gets a good chunk, gets the grass proc. Will be down the ultimate. We do have Triforce now completed up on the Camille, so she is feeling a bit more comfortable despite gifting over that kill. But Dragon is on the Rift. Hide on Bush can be first to start that one up.
Yeah, this is looking eerily similar to game 1. L9 Soraka just slowly pushing an individual advantage. The rest of the map being even except for the jungle where Hide on Bush is slowly getting ahead. Holds back in the lane. Picks up a couple minions for his troubles.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Aspects imagined a Grand Starfall just to pick up 40 gold, but that's what it's going to be for him up there. That minion and that piece of 40 gold blocking the death sentence, so Gary Enjoyer and Hyrax trying to get a bit of cheese back, but it is just Dragon dropping to the side of SPS.
It is Yunara is slowly starting to bleed out. Lights fall, the top's toppling.
Yeah, here comes Weaver's Wall. The shove missing, though. And Dr. Patient is alive. Maybe going to have another Aegis Assault in him with the Empowered E. Microsoft Store is cutting off the wave. He is not long for this world, is he? As he's going to be speared up, taken down. Microsoft Store picking up his second kill.
Yeah. Another thing is that this Pantheon has Thunder Sky, which is not a great healing item. For something in lane, for lane Pantheon, I would hope to see something like Eclipse or like, I don't know, like a Ghost Blade or something, but this Thunder Sky is like a great jungle item because it doesn't worry too much about the durability of the raw stats. Its passive is great for skirmishing, but the raw stats itself are not great when compared to Eclipse, when compared to Triforce.
Yeah, the raw stats of the Warwick, I don't think are going to get him out of this one. Massive isolation damage. Blue Killers and Hide on Bush able to punish an attempted red steal. Now Luco's trying to extend with that Spirit Rush, setting up Kiddo Kit Kat and Hide on Bush now ghosting on forward. The Talia is out of options and a 6th kill for Hide on Bush.
Yeah, this mid jungle just getting work done on the Rift. Blue Killers using those extra Spirit Rushes. Here comes Soraka.
Oh, but now Soraka's in there. A precision protocol knifes apart the Fox. This Kiddo Kit Kat forced to flash. You compare, actually, we can have Caliber multi and another pop of the Gravitum, but not enough to get collected. You did allude to game number 1, where L9 Soraka had a bit of an individual lead, was pushing down towers on Zehen. Camille definitely feels like she can contribute a good bit more than Zehen. She has better gap close, she has better lockdown, as meanwhile Soyblade getting hit by the duress of Microsoft Story. Gonna try to kite this one out. Now here comes the Starfall, flash for flash, and Dr. Patient is there outside of lane to get something going for himself.
Yeah, great flash by Soyblade. The lane might not have worked out, but he definitely looks comfortable on Yunara, so that is important to note. Another pickup, and Microsoft Store expends a lot and gets nothing in return. Might be huge for this next upcoming fight too, if they choose to look at the Herald.
It will be Lyrax getting pretty much all the priority that he was getting bought in mid until Hide on Bush shows up. And Jerry, that lantern cannot be taken soon enough, as Blink and Hyrax is gone. Dr. Patient now getting run out of the bot lane by the threaded volleys. Flash over from Allura. The shove is going to go wide. Patient finding the heals with the Sundered Sky, drops the ignite. And now with the minions here, Allura's not going to find any more threaded volleys. Seraphs is going to drop. Gets the Unraveled Earth down. Hide on Bush hits the spikes. Now has the bail up for a bit of speed. But the Weaver's wall doesn't work. Gets clawed right off the top. And even when you think something's going well for Allura, it is Hide on Bush there to punish.
Here we go again. 7-0-3. 2 items at 16 minutes. I've seen this before, Shiv. I've seen these games before.
And yeah, I mean, the Kha'Zix is definitely going to be able to pick people off. I think one of the key things we're going to look for is how they're going to be able to get the vision line forward, because Kha'Zix can definitely pick all these people off in one-on-ones. If the side of Hank Whittlebur can stay safe and get to team fights, it becomes much harder for Kha'Zix to play in outright 5-on-5s. So I'm definitely looking to see how they're able to move the vision line forward and find those straggling members like Allura there to keep the Kha'Zix train going. And meanwhile, Camille is going to try to keep her train going as Hide on Bush is going to try to go invisible, but gets knifed out of the sky. It's a shutdown for Microsoft Store. 1k gold for Warwick, and now there may be more. Dr. Patient evades a death sentence. Kiddo Kit Kat holding on to the ulti, and the Cosmic Spear connects. So Camille may be getting a bit too big for her mechanical britches there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Kiddo Kit Kat holds on to hostile takeover, but Dr. Patient is American Sniper and says, I don't need that, watch this, and just shoots him straight in the eye. I guess we'll get the mid lane turret for their trouble. Yeah, about it. Warwick with no ulti. Nothing much should happen here. Overall, not too bad of a play. They do get the 1k shutdown on Hide on Bush. Super huge. I think it went on Microsoft's side.
Yeah, he hasn't even been able to work that into an item just yet. And with Dragon up, this could be sole point. They have purview over the river for the side of SPS, and it gets pretty difficult to walk into the Renata, and they're just going to have to seed the Dragon. Sole point to the side of SPS.
Yeah, pretty surprising the SPS has been able to stack 3 dragons with ease so far, because it seems like the side of Hank Whittlebur, Hyrax, and Jiri Enjoyer have had bot lane Brio for probably like the whole game. I've just seen them only shoved up a turret, so not having any dragons to their name might be a little bit worrying. They get put on a timer for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's going to bring the Camille out of where she wants to be. She wants to be dictating in the side lanes, hitting towers, getting people in the 1v1. But she's going to have a 2v1 here real quick. And going to go for the play onto Hide on Bush. But, I mean, there's reinforcements in the wings, so she doesn't go too far. Herald is trying to get involved in the scuffle. Microsoft Store is pretty fragile. Does need to be careful around these pockets of vision himself.
Yeah, trading out ults with Kha'Zix might actually be worth at this.
Oh, a nice hook. The shove can't bring Luke Killers over the wall. He's not going to dash forward. There's no Unraveled Earth to stop him. But here comes an Inferno multi to hit onto 3. There's a collapse onto Hyrax. He'll stay alive with the barrier, but the backline is looking a bit defeated. Dr. Patience able to get in there for the killing spree. Trades out 1, but now it's a double kill for L9 Soraka. Camille looking to get some help from the Talia with the Weaver's Wall. The charm is good off the wall. And now the Slurkle comes out from Soy Blake to make sure L9 Soraka can't hunt down more heads.
Yeah, it's a 3-for-1, but that fight was pretty close. And Dr. Patient almost made miracles happen there, being able to take out Hyrax in exchange in a 3v1 on the backline. But they just didn't have the damage. The flash from the charm, Allura flashed at the very beginning, was super huge. And they thought they had the collapse, but in the end, they weren't able to get the kills.
Definitely good to see all this gold coming in. We do have 2 items on the Camille. She will have to strut her stuff in the team fight in 3 minutes when that soul point is on the Rift. So all the power she can get, more power to her ability to blow up Yunara and then not let her get a bailout when she goes for those.
Yeah, we haven't seen much value out of the hostile takeover yet. Let's see any good setup for it. And I feel like the team fight really just depends on if they can land this because, you know, like we said before, side of Hank Whittleberg does want to play very spread. Lance Rocker does take a trade, but spreading out like that, really hard to land a good hostile takeover. So they will just have to hit any frontliner, melee, anything that they can, and just play off that.
But everyone's collapsing onto L9. Hookshot builds more than enough distance, though. So Herald gets a crash, but it won't be a full-on take. Heidenbush can still move in and take his camps. Gary trying to poke around here. We'll get hand shook back, but with L9 Soraka here, the hook just barely whiffing. Now the Lantern to maybe get L9 Soraka's safety. Hexagon into the Dark Passage, but now here comes the collapse. They're gonna catch the Aphelios on top. Jerry thought they could look for a proactive play, but it is punished greatly with a 3-for-0.
Yeah, an absolutely beautiful collapse. That Grand Starfall over the top, even though it looked like L9 Soraka got out.
Bailout speed? Bailout speed helped Patient hit up that W, but Allura's still safe. But Baron, it's a bit tricky at 22 minutes, but I don't think there's going to be much to contest when you're looking at Warwick and Talia. So they'll get to work on the side of SPS. Microsoft Store is around. Blue Killers and Soy Blake are positioning to just use their damage to keep him out. He'll try to ult in, but there's no way in for the Wolf. Baron for SPS.
Yeah, pings are coming out now to the Dragon. 40 seconds. Microsoft Store will be up for it, but it'll be hard to control or even walk into the position now that the 5-man unit of SPS are all marching into the bot side river. And this game has just been blown wide open off of that skirmish. I don't think they want to be in the river right now.
Now, we talked about Hyrax being a source of power, but he's now down an item to the Yunara, and they can't really wrestle this vision back without the Warwick there to face check, without great tools here, as Charm does miss, so maybe they can push forward through the choke at least. Dragon spawns onto the Rift. Microsoft Store will have Hex Gates to try to get here as fast as he can. Eyes on the Kazakhs, eyes on the Camille. How can they pick apart in this fight as Pantheon taking up a lot of damage, is bailed out, but L9 Soraka is taking so much damage. He's not able to find his assassination. Hide on Bush. Able to now push forward in the fight as Microsoft Store trying to find a way in. Another death sentence, this time going wide. Dragon started up. Allura trying to push forward on the Talia, but this is going down so fast. Microsoft Store has Flash, has Smite, but against Kazakh's Q, Dr. Patient now just goes for the fight. They may get the kill, the cap, but they kill off the Aphelios. Now the Fear onto Pantheon. Flash forward as Soy Blake is ready to start the Age of Retribution. Microsoft Store looking for a way into the pit. He's able to ult, he's able to smite, but he doesn't get it. Hide on Bush secures the soul, secures an ace with the help of Soy Blake.
That might be all she wrote. I don't think that Hank Whittleberg has enough power, enough gas in the tank. I'm gonna might look for something here.
Yeah, the tank is empty. Not able to kill off Blue Killers there. And this Camille really wasn't able to do anything in that fight. She tries making an entrance, loses 90% of her HP before she can even ult. See the power of the kind of disruption that the Pantheon was able to do on the backline, staying alive for much longer than the Camille.
7k gold lead now. Exploding to 7k in about the past 5 minutes. The chain of events that have happened have just been tragic for Hank Whittleberg, but rather good for SPS. Their position is so good now.
I'm not sure why we're pushing up here with our Thresh positioning next to our Aphelios. will not be able to lantern him to any safety. They had no vision on that top side. You're up against Baron. I'm not quite sure why you need to be that far up in the mid lane. They lose 2, as now Dr. Patient trying to find more with the stun. The Unraveled Earth, the shove does a lot of work, but it's not enough damage to find anything back. The solo laners, the only ones left alive on the side of Hank Whittleberg.
Yeah. You said it. I don't know why that Thresh was right next to Hyrax, and map is getting steadily opened up now. Now it's 10k, maybe 11k after this turret falls. This gold lead looking like the lead that opened up in game 1. And not much left on the plates of Hank Whittleberg.
I do want to commend Soy Blake and Dr. Patient, right? Their lanes were not looking too hot. Dr. Patient came solo killed. Soy Blake kind of living at his tower, but in these team fights, they've been able to make effects. The are able to free fire as Soraka going to look for the 1-1, flashing in with Q2, but doesn't have the damage. Now with the camouflage, Hide on Bush waits for the stars to fall, and the stars are aligning for an SPS win. Microsoft Sword, though, does work his way in. That is a shutdown for the Warwick as he sniffs around, but I don't think he's going to find a way out. Unending Duress goes past the lantern. He's now slowed up by the Arc of Ruin, and I think this Warwick is soon to be ruined. He'll try to get a blast plan over. We'll pretend I didn't see that. We'll pretend... man, that Spirit Rush just ran out. That was crazy. It expired. Warwick does get away with the shutdown.
Yeah, that... Luke Hill has shown some mercy to PETA, like he didn't want to get on the watch list or anything, so Microsoft Store gets away there. Destina's land.
Okay, that's I mean, we're trying. I appreciate the aggressive effort as the flick hits onto Soy Blake. He gets caught out. That's 1k into the pockets of the Camille, and now Kittle Kit Kat is in a very rough position herself. That should be a dead Renata falling suit. Bailout will not do much of anything. Another kill to Camille. Hyrax now playing in the face of Lou Killers. The damage is there as he flashes in exhaust onto the Kazakhs. Chakrams are stacked up, but there's no way to survive against Hide on Bush. There may have been an opportunity for some tower damage. There may have been an opportunity to get more in this game, but without their marksman, it is still fine for Hank Whittleberg as they try to push down mid.
Yeah, Hank Whittleberg are just clawing picks everywhere on the map and somehow getting them. I feel like Hyrax didn't need to flash there, and it would have been a pretty good play. Dr. Patient getting spotted by Microsoft Store here. Things should happen. Maybe not.
I mean, he thinks he has Talia and Camille on the side, and they find the ultis on top of Hide on Bush. He's gonna die. 3 back-to-back kills for the Camille. And maybe we're not done just yet. Maybe this Hextech Soul is balanced. Maybe Kazakhs is balanced, as even with all the lethality items in the world, he can just splat on the windshield like that.
That is a full build Kazakhs at 28 minutes, by the way, and he just died again. And now pings are coming out onto Baron.
Yeah, they have red and white on the Aphelios. This could be a big moment for Hank Whittleberg as they try to get themselves back in this game. The Baron is getting shredded. It is gone. Big win for the side of HW with Elder in 50 seconds.
What is happening, man? Suddenly, we have a game again. It was, I don't know if it was over 10k, but it was at least a 10k gold difference. Like, not even 5 minutes ago? And somehow this game state has now happened. So I'm just clueless. I'm speechless now too.
Oh, and it might just come down to a phase check as the hook shot does buffer, but buffers him forward. So L9 Soraka does take a big chunk. Don't think he's going to be able to really Ravenous Hydra off of anything for lifesteal here. The side of SPS have not given up a dragon this entire game. They hold serve over the choke, using the spike racks, using the threat of the Renata. You can see the damage that Hide on Bush is able to put out from range even on the Kazakhs.
Yeah, it's hard to push against the Baron, and they do take the mid prio. Online Soraka Going in now into the
He's
push.
actually going to go in. Ulti on top of Hide on Bush, but he's just able to camouflage. Now GA is popped. Meanwhile, on the side, Allure is getting hunted down by the Ahri. DFL is trying to stay alive against Occupation. L9 Soraka looking for his moment, but he just finds a tombstone. A double for the Kazakhs. No one drops on the side of SPS. And it looked like there was a ray of hope, but it is dashed as Hank Whittleberg are completely aced.
They gave us hope. They gave us fans false hope. But the L9 Soraka just like sent it straight into the middle of 5, and that was their only source of engage. That was a coin flip fight for sure, but that is all she wrote, Shiv.
Yeah, the Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers in 2 wins. I think we have a total of 30 kills, like 34 kills for High on Push. Incredible stuff from the jungler and the overall team here for SPS. They are 3-0 through Swiss so far.
Yeah, just an incredible jungle clinic. Even in the Mundo game, he was just running the whole game state, all early game, most of mid game, and was like completely dominating the map in every way, completely dominating every fight in games 1 and 3. Knew where to be at all points of the game, knew how to punish, knew how to position, knew how to fight. It was just such a masterclass watching him skirmish on these assassins.
Yeah. And the unconventional pick definitely helping out here, able to pick people off in the side somewhere that maybe Hank Whittleberg thought they would have the advantage with their strong Camille, their Talia able to move to fights. Not the case. Hank Whittleberg now 2-1 will look to rebound in week number 4 as we are about halfway through Swiss, if I can remember exactly how the format works.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's 6 weeks.
Basically halfway.
Yeah, definitely a strong team. L9 Soraka, of course, also an incredibly strong team. They pushed this team to the brink. They pushed Soy Kittle Predator Slayers to the brink. But ultimately, SPS comes out on top.
So that will be it for week number 3. If my memory serves correctly, we've got Soy Kiddo Predator Slayers at 3-0. We've got the Silk Road Shaitans at 3-0. And I believe there has to be a third. Is it Untitled?
I think so.
Okay.
That's the Dota 2's beater team, right? I think so.
So
Oh
those
yeah.
are your
Yeah.
teams.
They are 3-0. They are 3-0.
Yeah. So those are your teams at the top of the table as we move in to week number 4. Stay tuned for more action as the split is heating up here. And be sure to donate so that we can give our due to these players for the love of the game.